Sean this week, so I'm gonna go Savage over Sean. Now I think it's gonna be like the Sterling Sean situation. I think it's gonna be very tight between those two, but I think Savage will edge him out. But that's wrong. Okay, so on to Cowboys and Lions.
You heard it here. He's gonna edge him.
No. Savage. I'm hoping Savage doesn't bring back. He's kind of.
Yep, that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be. That's...
Tell you something, Hendrick. He was actually starting to, I guess, twinkle at the end, but luckily it did not affect us. Twinkle.
Hendrick, we found the new quote. We're talking about in the fucking broadcast channel. There's your new quote.
Welcome everybody, episode 58 of Overdriven, the ODRL podcast, as we start our new chapter on YouTube. Welcome everybody to the chat. New endeavors here. Happy Thanksgiving week. We talked tonight about Pocono recaps for all three series, and we talk a little more next week about we got Rockingham and Gateway for the Premier Series. So let's get going. As always, we're joined by Hendrick. What up, Hendrick?
All right, what's going on?
Doing good, doing good. Bren, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. How's everybody's Thanksgiving week going? You ready for tomorrow? What do y'all having? Y'all have anything y'all have anything good?
Turkey, of course.
Turkey.
I'm hoping to get some stuffing. I really love stuffing, and that's like one of my favorite meals for Thanksgiving. I know it's a weird one, but I like stuffing, to be honest. Of course, mashed potatoes and gravy, too.
Okay. Hendrick, how about you?
I haven't gotten to that point yet. We'll just have to see.
Okay. Enjoy it though. Just take your time, enjoy some football, enjoy some sports. But gentlemen, we had a fun week this week. It was all Pocono this week. Every series was Pocono. We'll start with the Premier Series as always, as they're the prominent series. It was very fun this week, Brent. I know it was a little saving here and there. I know stage 3 had some saving. Obviously, stage 1 had saving from the rip. What was your overall view on the race in general?
I had basically, I'll be honest with you, I was horrible in practice, horrible in qualifying, so I went into this race saying top 15, I would be happy with. And how this race played out is exactly how I wanted it to, especially for my teammates as well, of course, because we got to win. We ran it long in stage 3 because obviously I could save a little bit, and that really helped us on fuel because a lot of people were, you know how it is, they had to back off so much pace that I was able to catch them, and eventually I would finish 6th. So overall, I thought the racing was good. I thought we kept it relatively clean because you know how Pocono is previously. We've had a lot of, there was some sloppiness every now and then, but I felt like we cleaned it up towards the end, and it really showed our product as we had a great finish between Stein and Sterlo, and I was able to get my 3rd top 10 of the season. So I'll take that, especially at a track that I went into thinking, let me just not die this week. Let's just finish decent.
Very true, very true. What was your thought process going into the stage 1? Because obviously, when we go into a league race, and
Oh man.
when 80% of the league knows it's going to be a fuel strategy or stage 1, we never have a caution. Just because we have so many people backing it down so early, there's never aggression, and there's nobody poking anybody, moving anybody over, and there's none of that aggressiveness. So we never have a caution. So everybody knew going into stage 1, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a fuel mileage there. So what was your thought process going into it? Were you a part? Did you have discussions with your team about maybe possibly pitting, with some, after lap 3 to get within marking, like both car did, because it was his first race and he actually pitted from the lead, and then got his track position all the way up back to 8th and got some stage points. So what did you have discussions about that, or were you strictly save?
So actually, we discussed it. We didn't. Oh my god, I just got turned it up and. We didn't actually think we could make it. Like we had to back it down so much. I thought we couldn't make it while pushing. But Camo and them, Yeah, our stage one strategy did not work at all. Honestly, it really failed for us because we thought you had to back it down so much that because you burned so much fuel there that we backed it down all the way down and lost so many spots. So we went into the stage saying we gotta save fuel, and Yoshi Racing, he was one of the only person of our group that couldn't really save fuel, so he pushed, and I think he pitted as well. So me and Sterlo really backed it down, and in the end, it didn't really benefit us. So going into stage two, we changed up everything throughout the race. So yeah, at stage one, we messed up our strategy. That's why we finished like 15th and 16th. It was not good, but everyone else was like saving so much better in drafts, so we changed it up for the rest of the race.
Indeed, indeed. It was a very fun race. I was very happy with it. I think it was the best Pocono race we've ever had. We're gonna see that. We're gonna hear that a lot this season because obviously it's a better game than whatever we had in the past. So we're gonna hear it. We've heard it in Iowa. We've heard it everywhere. So I'm not gonna be surprised we hear it next week and the week after. But it's overall a very good race. Stage two had a little issue here. We had three straight cautions in a 5 lap span. With not counting caution laps in it. But that was probably the worst part of it because then we got out of that, and then we had the one caution in stage three, and green flag, probably 68 of the 80 laps, I would imagine, estimated so. So it was very good overall. I was very happy with the finish. I was able to see the finish in front of me. I let them go in the final lap, and it was a nice little battle between that 23 and 24 car. Sterlo gets that victory 2 weeks in a row. So he's making us look maybe questionable from our last week discussion about him winning 4 races because he's already halfway there. So we might be in trouble with that discussion we had, and he might prove us wrong in less than another couple weeks. So we'll see what happens with that. But overall, very good race. I was very happy with it. Um, I'm never too big on saving because I think it hurts. As you said, Yoshi was a controller guy, so it kind of hurt him more than anything if you're up there. And he had to back it down so much to save, and he wasn't just able to save. So that's one of the things I don't like about it. But the admin thought process is we would rather have a stage one saving rather than have a stage three save where points matter the most in stage three, where your finishing order really matters more than stage points. So times three wear has less saving in stage three, even though this Pocono race had a saving, little bit of saving at the end because
That's because of
where
the
the last caution flew. So admins have no control over that. Um, but it was very good overall. Very good. Everybody in the voice channel was very good. No issues there. No big moments. Little issue with me and me and the 99, but water under the bridge there. No issue there. Um, Besides that, very happy with it. Shout out Sterlo for his second victory. I do want to get to this message from the podcast question before we get into all the rest of them, but it's a good subject to have. It's You brought this up. Is high voltage is picking up and just taking off with this? Are we is high voltage on just another stratosphere here? Hendrik, do you think they're the best team right now?
Oh man, that's a good question. I actually got to look at the premier roster again.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
Brandon,
Oh yeah.
Yoshi,
Yeah.
Sterlo, and Cowboys.
Yeah. That's a definite right now.
Yeah, super team. Yeah, it's a powerhouse. We knew going in it was going to be question. We had a question mark just because of new game, and from what we saw in the testing, it wasn't nobody really stood out besides a couple people here and there. But obviously, everybody could be a little, gaining more ground every week. You're gaining more and more confidence, and HVM is just taking another step. Right now, I don't see anybody dethroning them. It's going to be a nice rivalry between ILM, in my opinion, ILM and HVM the rest of the season because those are the two quote unquote powerhouse teams. And then you have teams that are coming up, like you have Stein, who's battling for the win, his team in Doghouse. Um, they could be the next coming of age team that could be really big. The 12 car Wolfgang made his debut and it was really fast, so he could actually be helping Stein's team. Thunderbolt Racing, who got their first victory in trucks this year, I do believe, or Xfinity. Sorry, Xfinity, Ohio. NXT. So it was very good. We'll talk about the NXT season series now. Last week I had a little rant about NXT, but this week I'm not going to, I'm going to give them full on praise because it's only 1 week, but it was a step in the right direction. Two cautions. That's all they had. Very well done. The biggest issue we had at NXT was we had a lot of wrecks after the stage cutoff, so that affected a lot of people that didn't need to be affected because of over-aggressive with less than 5 to go. That was pretty much the only issue I had with that race. But it's a week-to-week process. We're going to Rockingham this upcoming week, and we'll see how that goes. But it was a very fun race. Shout out to Lyle for getting his first victory in Thunderbolt Racing. And Hendrik, you were there for your first NXT start. How'd that go for you?
That went really well. I think there was only one hiccup that I had, and that was exiting the final turn on a restart, hitting the wall. I was able to save it, and that prevented me from losing a lot of spots. But I had a lot of comments about that after the race. I was getting messaged a lot about it, saying how good I did in the debut. Top five was definitely not something I was expecting. I was thinking I was going to be around 11th to 15th initially, but a top five is definitely not bad to start off.
Very true, very true. Plus, it's a week-to-week process, but obviously you're one of the big ones to look on if you get approved to be a sub for the next couple of weeks. A little thing about the HVM owner having a broken
Um,
fibula, and it's
oh
gonna kind
man.
of set out for a while, and you might be the person to take over that. I heard. So we'll see if we'll get week-to-week approval for you to take over that 32 car going forward. But first race was eye-opening to say the least, in my opinion. You're the only stream I watched from that series race, and I enjoyed what I saw from you, holding a line, checking up when you needed to most, and learning a lot from that truck series and taking it over. And because you almost won that truck series too, so coming over. How does it? How was it going from the truck series Pocono to Xfinity car Pocono?
Um, I mean, the transition was definitely not bad. I definitely enjoyed racing in both the trucks and the Xfinity. If I really had to pick a preference of which one I enjoyed more, I would definitely say the Xfinity cars, but only because it felt like there was a bigger difference with the pit strategy. And yes, I did do a different strategy at the end. I took two tires, and I thought I wasn't gonna make it, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that was not the case. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed racing in the Xfinity cars because I didn't really get to race in them that much until last Sunday.
Yeah, they're very fun. They're very fun. There's obviously an issue with it with when you have that many people in a lobby with that car that's on the edge the whole time, which Xfinity cars are, and that's a fraction of the problems NXT has is that car, in my honest opinion. That's what I brought up last week, and they're very fun though. They're the best car to drive in the game, in my honest opinion. Um, but you did a great job. Brett, I don't know if you saw anything from the Pocono NXT race, but do you have any thoughts about that race? Have you seen it at all?
Unfortunately, I did not watch the race, but there was a funny question that I want to mention.
Okay, go ahead.
They said Impact's going on IR. He'll be back hopefully by January. So guys, he'll be out a few weeks. Make sure you put him on the bench for fantasy.
Yeah, Odell fantasy. Then we need it. Great. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that would
What?
be funny though.
Yeah, very true. I wonder who
Hopefully
wrote
he
that
gets better for
question.
real.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully he
I
gets
hope
better.
he gets
Shout out,
better.
shout out, shout out. But shout out Lyle for his victory. An up and coming driver from NXT who's showing out. Him and Iron Man had a last lap pass, I do believe, maybe two to go pass. Little bumper. Little bump and run action to the 88 car of Iron Man, but it was very fun. All respect from the 88 and the I forgot what number is Lyle. Can somebody have that top of your head?
He's in the
I got
42.
42. Yes, correct. 42 of Lyle was very much respectful and really love to see that. So it was very fun. But shout out to everybody at NXT. Don't get too high on it because it's 1 week at a time, but a step in the right direction. 2 cautions I'll take. Voice channel was good. Everybody listened and understood what they had to do. Not much issues with that. Just got to clean up some stuff about after 5 to go. Aggressiveness cannot, you still got to, even though there's there are no cautions, doesn't mean you got to race like assholes. So keep that in mind going forward. Besides that, though, I was very happy with NXT. Very fun race, and shout out Hendrick. He's the highlight of it, in my opinion. And happy to see trucks drivers going up and doing good in the NXT series and propping themselves up to have a full discussion on the podcast. But very good. So we'll go with that straight to the truck series. Hendrick, you're the car to beat, in my opinion. How was that truck handling? I know you got some nice little help before entering the race, and it propelled you to a nice little stage 1. So how did that go for you?
It was really good, but the stage that I did win, I didn't adjust the car at all.
Oh, really?
Um, it was just the default. I enjoy Pocono a lot. I said it in the last week's podcast. It's one of my favorite tracks to race at, and there's good reason for it. I mean, I race on there a lot. Just hasn't done it that much on the new game. But yeah, that stage, it was really fun being able to battle with Skywalker, and a couple others. I know Duke Prime was up there right at the very end. But yeah, going into that stage, I didn't think I was going to even win that one. I knew I was a top 3 car, but I didn't think I was that fast early.
Yeah. How did you feel? How did you feel going into that final 10 laps? I know it was a nice little shootout with you and Do and a couple other people. So how was your how was that? How was your nerves that last 10 laps?
Well, first off, I do want to applaud Duke Prime for the win and for the battle. Same thing can be said with Juice Box. I mean, they both gave me a fair fight. Yeah, I was just concerned that I was going to slip up or hit the wall and accidentally take one of them out, or even myself. Um, I didn't want to push one of them down too low or force one into the wall. But yeah, it was very clean racing. I just did have a little hiccup with, I think it was either 2 to go or 3 to go. But I was able to wrap that outside very well, considering the tire situation. I think if I had one more lap, I think the story would be different. But obviously, Do Prime, he had a strong case to win that race. He did win a stage. He was second in the first stage. Like, me and him basically flipped the first and second spot for every stage in that race.
Yeah, it was very fun to watch. Shout out Duke Prime for the victory. But overall, a very fun week of racing. I know Pocono is not the greatest track in the world. It can be a very technical, draft-heavy track where fuel mileage comes into play. It can be a track where, one mistake here on pit road, black flag can really ruin your day type of track. Not really. Everybody gets a little spaced out on long green flag runs and really draft dependent on that long straightaways. But very fun overall. In my honest opinion, I think we had a battle for the lead on all 3 races. So shout out to the whole league. Very happy with it. I had no complaints over this week. It was very good. The good race polls were all high 90s, I believe. Premiere was 95, NXT was 92, and Trucks was 92, I do believe. So very happy with it. Going forward, we'll talk more about. We guess go back to some short track racing this week, so we'll see what happens there. But first, we'll get into some podcast questions. Brent, I know you got a couple that you took away from. What do you got for us today?
All right, so this is a good one that I just saw that I accidentally chose another one for. Okay, for non-team owners. So essentially, me and Hendrik, I would assume, if you were given one and could hypothetically hire anyone you'd like to currently in league, which ODR drivers would you build a team with? Now, can we pick one or more? Because the difference is that if it's only one, I mean, are we going off talent? Or are we going off leadership? Are we doing all three traits? Because that's a big thing. Because
It'd be your decision,
personalities,
yeah.
personality is a lot of. Some people have different personalities. Now, if I had to pick from my own from my own personal experience, I have only two guys that I'd go with right now, and one is because I've known him for years, Camo, and two is Sterla because obviously he's basically a demon on track, and I've learned a lot from him. So those would be my two. If I had to pick one to lead a team, or I don't know, because Sterlo leads. He can be a little aggressive, but he is a good leader. Camo is he'll pat you on the back and call you shit, but he'll also teach you some things.
Call you shit. Yeah, that's a great teammate if you want him, I guess. It's a great
um,
if you have him as you if you're a team owner and he calls you shit as a team owner, I don't know if you want that, in my honest opinion.
yeah. No, I personally for now I would go with Sterlo just because of the speed on NASCAR 25. I think his speed is there. He's also a good leader. Camo would also be the same. He's a good leader. He's also got decent speed, but right now I think Sterlo edges him out for me personally as someone I would choose for a team right now. Who would you pick,
I
Hendrik?
agree. How about you, Hendrik?
Out of everyone.
So if we're gonna base it on cooperation, I would go with Cowboys. He's
Oh
always
yeah,
one
true.
that has
Mm-hmm.
common sense, even in the most dire situations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think he would be a really good teammate to work with. And then if I was to choose somebody to be like an owner, if I had to pick from, I would guess specifically Premier. Um, I could honestly, I'm gonna go with. It's tough between Iron Man and Spartan. They both have their little perks and quirks. I guess I would go with Iron Man, but that's really close. I mean, it
Yeah,
depends on
agreed.
that given week. Um, so yeah, I mean, I guess a compliment to both of them, but if I had to really pick one right now, I would have to go Iron Man.
Agreed. Agreed. That's a very good one. I'm gonna take this question and I'm gonna build a 4-man roster. I know I'm a team owner, but I'm gonna build a four out of the box question here. A 4-man team that would be start from excellence into having the bottom be the future. So I'm gonna say Sterlo, Spartan, Carrot, Pumps. I really think going into another podcast question we have, who has surprised me most in trucks or NXT, who I could see the next person coming up is Pumps. Pumps has a speed, has the want, the will to be a top driver. His biggest critique right now is he's too aggressive and he thinks over his head a little bit. Being a young driver on league racing and not used to bigger leagues and knowing when to go and when to calm down, I think he's the next up and coming star. If we have stars in league racing and do the next big, he can be a Sterlo contender eventually and be up there. Leadership of Spartan, I think, is up there. Sterlo can go grab up the wins to get the team over the top. Carrot is an up and comer from coming from NXT to Premier, who I think is the next future star in Premier. He shows up to Premier weekly and does the best he can. And I'm really impressed with Carrot. I know he's had some issues in Heat 5. But going into NASCAR 25, he's been a huge addition to the premier roster from the weeks that he subbed, and now that he's a full-time driver, we saw that 22 in the lead very much at Pocono, and I think we're going to continue to see that. His only issue, the same with Pumps, is he might be aggressive at the wrong times because he knows he has to get in front of somebody and hopefully use his speed to take off. And sometimes he needs to back that down a little bit and move forward. But I'm really happy to see where he goes. I know he signed a futures contract with ILM, and he's lent over to Thunderbolt Racing to drive that 22. So I think I can clearly say that Carrot will be the future of ILM when the time comes. So I'm very excited to see where that comes. And yeah, that's the way I'm going to take that those two questions is Pump's the future, in my opinion, of the league if he continues on the trajectory he's on, and I think he'll be in the NXT soon enough. Cade's out there too. Shout out Cade. I know he had some lag issues, and he was the first one to go from trucks to NXT. Tyreek, another one. He's on my high list of guys on the up and coming. XO's another one. And I'm just gonna say it right here. I think the person who is the likely one, as long as he can stick with it and not have something happen to this game where it takes away from his racing and booth, I'm gonna say Hendrick. Hendrick has shown that he can race in the truck series and be a contender, and he can go at NXT and be an immediately contender, and that's why he's opened some eyes up to be a weekly sub driver for the going future NXT. So I'm very looking forward to seeing what he does too. As long as he doesn't have a commentary booth up there and he sticks to that track, I'm excited to see what he's got. But that going forward, we'll move on to Brian. You have any other questions for us?
I mean, if I want to answer what you said as well, what
Go
truck
ahead. Go
driver
ahead.
do I see being really developmental and could see potentially getting to NXT or Premier? Realistically, like you said, Pumps, I'm rooting for him. Obviously, he's on my team currently, and yes, I see the willingness to learn. I practice with him every week when I get the chance, obviously. He races a ton, so I definitely see him improving. He's gonna improve with time, especially on this game. I think effort is the main thing on this game. You gotta practice daily, and he does that. Who else do I really see? I mean, Pure Splash, but I don't know if he wants to run in the NXT because he's been there before, and I think he's good. I just think he just is satisfied with trucks, but we'll see. He has decent speed on this game. We've seen it the last 2 weeks in trucks. He's finished top 5, and he has a win already. So I do look for him to maybe moved up eventually, but I don't know if he will. We'll see about that. But that'd be the only other guy really that I see currently in trucks. Obviously Tyreek Cade. I mean Tampex, obviously. But those are all guys that I feel like if they want to, they can run NXT. It's just their personal choice at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I think the step up is easier now. I think Pure Splash was thrown into NXT in a time where there was
Wasn't
no
stable.
it wasn't stable, but there was also no like not an opportunity to not gauge somebody, not enough to evaluate somebody. That's the word I'm looking for, evaluation. So you couldn't really evaluate somebody because it was a very unstable environment. But now that we have the third series and for the trucks, you can evaluate them better. So eventually he'll get up there, in my opinion, when the time's right, and when NXT is finally stable and not the biggest headache in the world, and can finally get some if them finally get to be able to evaluation status, because the evaluation status in NXT is basically if you're clean and you're fast, get out of there. As I said last week. So right now we're still not able to evaluate people to where we like in NXT. So it's coming along. We'll see in the next couple weeks how we can evaluate and be fine. But I definitely agree with you. All those guys. Hendrick, you got any guys that's sticking out to you that we haven't mentioned that you race with on Saturday nights? That could you could see moving up.
Well, I know Do Prime was in
Yeah.
NXT.
Hmm.
So I don't know if he would be eligible for this question. Juicebox, I could definitely see. I mean,
Yep.
he's done well from the very beginning of the season. So I could see that. And then in terms of other people right now, I mean, I don't want to pick anyone that just got like, a ride in trucks. Pumps, I mean, I can agree with Pumps. I think Skydiver can really get the leap to
Yeah.
NXT, but he just has to finish.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
I I know that he is capable of competing, but the final results just haven't showed it for me. Like he was competing for stage wins at Pocono, but he didn't get the finish that I thought he deserved. I don't even think he got in the top 10 at Pocono. Um, North Wilkesboro, he did really good. I was even battling with him in the closing laps. He did get a podium finish there. And then Talladega, obviously that's anyone's track. I don't think he raced in that one. I could be wrong.
I don't recall top of my head.
So I mean, yeah, I think he needs a couple weeks just to kind of have more proof, but I do think he is worthy of being in NXT at the very least.
Definitely agree. I definitely agree with you on that one. Um, but very good. Very good questions this week. Very happy with them.
Hey,
We don't have.
I,
Go ahead. Here, you got one? You got another one?
I want. Okay, this is the main one that I've been waiting for 2 weeks
Go ahead.
because of the
Go
rant
ahead.
last week. I'm not gonna
Go-
answer the dumb one that I answered, but what has been your favorite podcast moment, and what does ODRL mean to y'all? Now, I don't
That's
really have a
great.
podcast moment at the moment, but I have a what does ODRL mean to me?
Okay.
To be honest, Camo got me into this 2 years ago, and I don't know if it's helped me develop as a driver, and plus obviously I've grown to know you guys for a while. Obviously you Mets, I've known you for about 2 years now. Obviously it was a little rocky at first because of yeah. But ever since then, it's been honestly, I mean, ever since Midnight got me back into this league, I feel like it's gone pretty smoothly. I have a solid relationship with admins. I know I have a reputation, I'm talkative, etc., but I don't think you guys hate me. Not yet, anyways.
No.
But yeah, ODRL is definitely family, I feel like, at this point. We've been doing this for 2 years. We literally have a podcast that we do every week. So, I mean, we
Mhm.
talk, we're basically friends. So, it's like a friendly environment. Plus, you get to race with the boys on Monday nights. Now, I think. Well, yes, the league has some issues every now and then. I feel like overall they're handled pretty well. Well, yes, the rants can be funny on Wednesday nights or Thursday nights. It does worry me a little bit sometimes at NXT, but at the same time, I know those guys will get it right, so I'm
Yeah.
not worried about that. And I think this league will last for a long time because the admins, the owners, the team owners especially, the drivers really do care about this league, especially Premier and Trucks and NXT. I know NXT's had a few bad weeks, but they do care, and it's showing when they practice and put the effort in. I feel like that's their only issue is that they didn't practice for a few weeks, and now that you're forcing them to practice, I think they will develop. But yeah, ODRL's meant a lot to me. It's helped me grow as a person, grow into adulthood as well. Some advice from some people, especially Impact. Thank you. But yeah, it's definitely been fun. I've enjoyed my experience, and yeah, it means a lot to me. It's definitely helped me grow as a person.
Do you have a favorite moment in the podcast?
Um, you guys clip every single weird thing I say, so. I, I mean, I don't have something that comes off my head. I just know that when I'm able to brag about something for the first time in a while, that feels good, you know? When I actually
Mhm.
run well, that feels really good.
Yeah, Bran, I give you your flowers now. Has had a very rocky beginning into a um podcast star, in my opinion. There's not a podcast without Bren. I'm happy to see him perform well on track too, because I know he gets a lot of shit from his team and a lot of shit from that general chat about what's Bren doing. Um, I don't know if it's a new party thing that could be helping you. I don't know if it's the new you being in a party with
The game.
Sterlo and Yoshi. The game itself obviously is a factor,
Yes.
but I don't know if you're keeping your cool with them in the chat. I don't know if Impact's in the chat with y'all in that party, helping you and calming you down. I don't know if he's there until the very end. I don't know. I can't see who's in the party with you
You
during
want to
those
know?
times. Go ahead. If you want to say it out loud, go ahead.
No, Impact is not in the party at all. It's only me,
Okay.
Sterlo, Yoshi, and Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Mets, the only reason that it's really going off is if you remember at the end of Heat 5, I actually got my wheel late.
Yeah,
So
you did.
I
That's
was
right. You
learning my
did. Yep.
wheel on Heat 5, and I was actually steadily getting better
True.
with the wheel. So
Very.
this new game also reset everything because I came into Heat 5 late. Like I came in like 2023. So I didn't start on Heat 5 immediately like you guys did. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, learning the wheel, communication is a big thing because we communicated on the last pit stop to get Sterlo and all of us on fresh tires for the final run. So I think communication is the main thing for this new game. I think that is really helping us in the long term. Yeah, communication. If you guys can communicate with your teammates, it is really important. I'm just letting you guys know. But yeah,
Yeah,
communication,
I agree.
teamwork, and just learning. Definitely taking a little time to learn this game. It's not as easy as it's not that easy.
No, it's
Some
definitely not
tracks.
easy. This game is difficult. This game makes you sit up a little in your seat and say, "All right, I have to focus and bear the fuck down and focus and do the best I can and gonna get on that wheel and drive the shit out of this car or whatever track you're at and focus on your surroundings and it is you gotta focus. It has its issues. Obviously, the bubble's a big issue. Um, and other things here and there. Getting used to doing the pit cycle, whatever. Having the request to pit. But it has its positives more than negatives, and it's really showing out for you. So I'll give you your flowers there. Hendrik, the question is for you. If you have anything, favorite podcast moments, or what does ODRL mean to you? You don't have to be all sincere about it, but what do you got for your answer?
Well, for starters, my favorite podcast moment is always being able to use my Twitch redeems to either mock Bren or mute Bren or say something rude to Bren. Common pattern. Um,
Wait, we're gonna
but
figure that out.
I
Edit
would
it out. Edit it out.
in terms of ODRL, I mean, like I kind of got in a different way with
Mhm.
commentary. And what that did, that obviously opened up a whole new perspective for me, like Twitch wise. Uh, Helped my channel grow. Obviously, I've done many leagues, but ODRL was one that definitely expanded things. And it eventually became the league that got me out of even retirement, of all
Yeah,
things.
true. Yeah, true.
Um, so I mean, it's did a lot. I don't know exactly when commentary is going to be possible again, but what I do know is that regardless if I'm on the track or if I'm in the booth, obviously from a streaming perspective, it's ODRL has went a long way for me on that side.
Sure, we're lucky to have you. I know you came in here on a on a favor to somebody else who was doing it, and you stuck around and stayed, and you've been a vital part. And with you sticking with you and Camo in the booth, it was a great call of putting you two together because I think you vibed each other very well and worked with each other very well on calling premier races. And then with you and Bren a lot teaching, I think in my opinion you were a very good teacher to Bren, even though he doesn't listen most of the time when you were in a booth with him. He was getting better with that before Heat 5 shut down. And yeah, give you flowers there. I love what I'm seeing on track from you because I think it's getting your love for turning left again. As you told me before you came out of retirement that you were sick of turning left, and that's why you were. It's one of the reasons why you put in retirement because it wasn't fun for you anymore. So I'm happy the rekindled flame is getting back there, and got the team for it, and the team's helping you get through that and building up through the ranks. And yeah, shout out to you for that. And you'll be here for a long time because I know when that commentary booth opens up again, we get spectator mode. You'll be right there calling the best finishes and right there camo and best you can, and having a blast doing that, or on track once a week for doing that too. So welcome to do both if you want it. But this is a tough one for me, obviously being the owner. Podcast, obviously, every time Bren has made this podcast, in my opinion, his moments, Camo's moments towards Bren's quirks and laugh out loud funny moments have been a highlight of me. I can never get mad about Bren being in a podcast because we're at least gonna get one laugh. He's gonna say something stupid or something funny once an episode, and I always love those moments. I always look forward to that. And then my rants, obviously, it stresses me out to no end, but it's become my therapy on podcast nights where I can rant about NXT most of the time, without yelling at them, in a chat or something. And oh, what does ODRL mean to me? It's from a person who is disabled, who can focus their energy on something positive as ODRL, along with Nick, aka Iron Man, from the beginning. All we wanted as a place, to be a competitive environment on Heat 5 League Racing, never to be iRacing. That was one of the things we always made sure we're like, we're never going to be iRacing, or we are a console racing league. And we stuck to that, but we wanted the best of the best. We always want the best of the best. But at the end of the day, a place where somebody can come and learn the ropes of a bigger lobbies, mature as humans, because we have some young people like Brandon maturing. We have team owners who can help lead to people growing as people, and be a better person, and learn responsibility, learn respect, learn friendship, and I believe we've done that. I know we're getting bigger and bigger, and it's only because of the drivers we have. So appreciate everybody doing that. Um, and it's everything, honestly. It's just it's what I wake up and say, okay, what was Odir? What do I need today? How can I make this league better daily? How can I thought pops in my head. What do I do daily? Power rankings today. Okay, good race poll today. People want winners post today. Okay, let me get that. Let me get the graphic team in order for that. Let's focus on a good schedule to make so we have a productive schedule that everybody's in enraveled in and enjoying and looking forward to the next week without getting burnt out, because I know with a new game people have um people have the want to keep racing in leagues and different leagues in different areas, but I always want to have that place where everybody can come to have their number one focus be and strive to be the best in their respective series and with their friends, with their team, and making new friends with their team, and learning from each other is the biggest thing. So, yep, that's pretty much it. I love it. It's not going anywhere as long as we're here. It might be here without me, unless God willing. Um, it's I love it. I love it. I can sit back. I can put down a controller to race and watch it and be amazed the drivers we have and the constant respect everybody has and the fun we have in general chat. I know it's like a locker busting balls, a lot of that, but I love it. I would never exchange anything for it. I participate in it. It's been a place where I've learned to participate in stuff like that because I used to not participate in trolling or, rage bait jokes or anything like that. So it's a very fun place, and people aren't don't get too angry about it, and we move on to the next day. Shit talking for sports and football moves on to another day. But yeah, I love it. I can't wait to see where the future goes because the future is very bright. But yeah, I knew that was gonna be sentimental, so apologies for the rant. Um, but we'll move on to previews this week. We'll start with Premiere, going to Gateway. We haven't been to Gateway since Heat 5, obviously. It brings in a different little animal in this game compared to last game. What do you see happening here, Bren?
Ran some practice laps earlier, and all I can say here is that middle to high lane is gonna be dominant. So adjustments will make or break your race as well. Got a good the right adjustments in. Obviously, a lot of people know the right adjustments on this game, but I can see this race being very tight and close. I feel like the top 5 will be uptick because of draft and stuff. So I expect a good finish here. There might be some. I feel like there's gonna be some incidents because you got to slow down, brake a lot here. But I think it's gonna be a fun track. I really look forward to it. In a sense, I feel like it's better on this game than it was on Heat 5. Obviously, Heat 5 Gateway. I didn't like that track, so so I'm obviously gonna like this
Like
one better.
that game was not designed for Gateway, especially with next gen cars. It was
Dude,
not
the
definitely
brake.
not was not great for it. But this game definitely a clear advantage of being better. I think I could see some issues, some cautions here and there with short track racing tempers. The rumble strips, low lane looseness can be
Ooh.
an issue. It can be a real interesting race, like say the least. Pit entry, obviously, if you get to the grass on those access roads, it could be an issue coming out. But it should be a very fun race. I do expect Premier to put on a good show with it at the very end. So I'm looking forward to that, seeing what they do with it. Um, yeah, really looking forward to it. Let's get with the picks here. Um, okay, we don't have Camo today, so I have to go Camo after all of us. And I do believe No, nobody won this week, right? I won NXT, and nobody won Premier. So who was the first one? I do believe Hendrick might have been the first. Um,
Premier?
yeah, I think he might have been. I think he picked Cowboys or something. I forgot who he picked.
That was
But
me.
let's
I picked Cowboys.
yeah, did you? All right,
We
go ahead,
both
Brent.
picked
Who do
the
you got?
guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, who do you got, Brent? Who do you got? Who do you got from Premier for your number one pick and your dark horse? Let me write that down.
All right, so I know I said I didn't expect him to get 4 to 5 wins this season, and I do apologize, Sterlo. You said last season was a fluke, and you decided to go sicko mode. So I think you might go 3 in a row. I'm gonna go with Sterlo. I think ran with him earlier, has some good speed at Gateway. Obviously we know how he is. He's very good. He's my teammates. I'm not gonna glaze him too much, but I think he's gonna be good this week. Obviously, he's won the last 2 races, so he beat me at Iowa, and then at Pocono, he was able to steal it from Stein. So I'm gonna go with him as my main pick, and then my dark horse this week. I'm gonna go. I don't know if is Yoshi Racing considered a dark horse.
If you want to be a homer, yeah, why not? I'll let him be a dark horse.
I'm gonna go with Yoshi Racing. I think this week is a little different from Pocono, as long as we don't have a caution. I think he'll be up front. Obviously, he's a top 10 driver in this league. Very quick on the long run and short run. It just sucks that he's on controller sometimes. It's just unfortunate, but when there's
Mhm.
no cautions, I think he'll be up front inside the top 5 battling for the win. So I'm going Homer this week. I know Sterlo and Yoshi, my 2 teammates, but they've been on a roll lately. So I gotta go with my
Very
homies.
true. Very true. Very true. All right, Hendrik, who do you got for your premier picks this week?
I'm actually very glad that Brent didn't pick him because I do think that he's got a lot of potential in getting his first win in Premier this upcoming Monday. I'm gonna go with Stein. Stein's in the top 5 in points. 2 top 10s. He had 1 podium finish. and if I am not mistaken, he was the one that actually finished. Didn't he finish second? In the last Premier race, yes, he did.
Pocono,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, Pocono, yeah.
So I do think that he gets redemption from last Monday. I think he gets his first win on Monday. He's definitely had a great season thus far, and the only way you can make it better is by winning a race, and I think he does that. And then for my dark horse, I consider him a dark horse. He only made one start in Premier this season, and he got a top 5. I gotta go with Carrot on this one.
Okay.
Carrot, I really do think that this is not a fluke for him in Premier. I think he will definitely have another good run. In terms of being a race-winning contender, I don't think he will, but I do think he is in contention for a top 3 to 5 finish.
Yeah, I agree. He's the up and coming driver. He's gonna show out, in my opinion. Who am I gonna go with for Premier? Um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Let's see. I'm gonna go Cowboys as my main pick. I think his time is coming. With the I hate HVM dominance so far, and I think he continues it. And then my dark horse is going to be Cobra. I think he's the leading Rookie of the Year candidate, and I think he's very capable of taking this victory and stamping his arrival for the Premier Series this year. So those are our picks. Camo will have to have his picks be taken written down and will be shared tomorrow. So keep in the Discord to see those in ODRL reports chat. But we will move on to trucks this week first. Both at Rockingham. A little short track this week. The issue with Rockingham, in my honest opinion, is going to be passing. Not a lot of passing around Highland. A lot of wall action. A lot of staying away. If you stay away from the wall, you'll be fine. Don't want to get too low. You might get too loose and have a little issue there. But Brandon, I will start with you for your truck picks. Who you got for um Rockingham trucks?
All right. I'm gonna go with no, we can't double down on teammates this week, even though I want to. I'm gonna go with Pumps as my main pick,
Okay.
and my dark horse. He's not technically a dark horse. Let's go with EXO.
That's not. Can we switch that? Pumps would be a dark horse compared to EXO.
Oh,
EXO would be
I
the
don't
main
know the
pick, and then
standings.
Pumps dark horse.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't know
I'm
the
just
both
saying
in the top 10.
they're both in top 10, but
They're both
EXO
good.
has the what's it called? But all right, I'll let it slide. I'll let
Actually,
it slide this one week.
EXO's
Just
actually
kidding.
13th in points, so you can make a
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, you can make a case for it. All right, I'll give it to you.
Thank you. I think it.
Um. All right, Hendrik. Who do you can't pick yourself? Who do you
Oh
got
yeah.
for your truck pick?
My primary pick, he did really
Okay.
good, and he actually won at Wilkesboro. I'm going to go with Splash.
Okay.
Splash was consistent in that race, and I know it's not the exact same track, but in terms of like tracks that are hard to pass,
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see someone like Splash thriving in that kind of racing, and I do think that he will be a contender and could get his second win and be the first one in trucks to do that. And then my dark horse pick, I actually had a little bit of trouble with this one because to be honest with you, I looking at 11th on down without picking the same person, I it's a little bit difficult. So if I had to pick one, I'm going to take a shot in the dark. If he races this week, I will I will go with Cade.
Okay.
only because he's 25th in points. I know he's only done one race this season, and that's kind of why I'm a little skeptical on it. But if I am not mistaken, he hasn't made a start since the very first race. But it's worth a shot.
Yeah, he didn't race. Did he race? He didn't race Saturday, did he?
No, he did not.
Yeah, he was supposed to. I don't think he showed up. Oh, but very good pick. I agree. He's a contender in my opinion. Who am I going to pick for trucks? I'm gonna say Hendrick, the main pick, and gets that W. And he's gonna be my main pick. He's not gonna be my dark horse because I fully believe in him. Then my dark horse is going to be. I'm gonna say. I can't call him a dark horse. Can't call former champions dark horses. I'm sorry. Um, I don't know. What do y'all agree? Can I put Georgia Dog as a dark horse?
I could see it.
You can see
I
it.
mean, for trucks, since we did EXO, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
and
Georgia's not even in the top 20 in points. That's perfect. Reasonable.
Yeah, fair point. But yep. We have a weekend at Rockingham this week. We got Trucks and NXT. So we'll move on to NXT. Same issues there as Trucks is gonna have. Passing, Rockingham's a tough track to pass. A lot of short track temper's gonna flare here. I'm very worried about it for the past of NXT. Hendrik, I will start with you first with NXT. Who do you got as your first pick for your NXT Rockingham pick?
For Rockingham. Okay, I'm just making sure I haven't picked him yet, and it looks like I have yet to do that. I'm going to go with Irish as my main pick.
Okay.
Obviously, if I remember correctly, Irish was the one that did win the Iowa race.
He did. Yep.
So I'm gonna stick with Irish on this one. I definitely think that he'll have another good weekend. And then in terms of my dark horse for NXT, I count him as a dark horse because of his point spot. I'm gonna go with Yeti.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Very true. All right, Brand, it's on to you. Who do you got for your picks this week in NXT? And this time you
appreciate
can't
that.
pick Impact because you don't think he's gonna show up.
Well, he's on IR, so he won't show up.
Listen, I know
Dude, he's on
Impact,
injury
and
reserve.
if he was a little better, if he feels a little better by Sunday and can bend just a little bit, he has a competitive edge to be like, I need to show up.
If he could race on controller, he would probably be running because he can play
Yeah,
PUBG, but he can't
yeah, he
use his
can't. Yeah,
wheel.
yeah.
All right, I'm happy that no one, only one person went, but I'm happy you didn't pick him. I'm going with Lyle. He ran solid at
Okay.
North Wilkesboro, even in the chaos, and when it was a clean race, he won Pocono. So I think Lyle will be
Okay.
very quick. I think he's going to start showing up, start dominating. I think he's got speed based on what I've heard from Stein. I know he guesses up his drivers, but he won his second race in the series. So I think
Yep.
he's got
True.
some good speed. Lyle's going to be impressive, I think, Sunday night if he keeps it clean. And then my dark horse, technically for this series, he is the darkest. I'm going with Tyreek. Obviously
Okay.
we all know how much speed he has and how much speed he's shown in the past. I've raced with him a ton in different series. He's a dark horse, but don't get that mistaken. He's definitely gonna be up front. I think this is one of the tracks where you're gonna learn really who's the best in the series because Rockingham is not as easy as people think. We ran that in our first race on this game and all of us died. So that was
It can
funny
be
as
an
hell.
issue. It can be a problem if you're not ready for it. All right, so I'm gonna go Iron Man as my pick. He's been in the lead every race so far, and has just had something happen where he hasn't been able to finish the deal. So I think he finally finishes the deal, and I think he has a little. I think he has a little Logano effect about first tracks, going to a first track for the first time and getting wins. So this will be the first time we ever go to Rockingham, and I think he can be the person to get the first win at Rockingham. And my dark horse. You took my dark horse. Damn it. Who was my dark horse? Um, that's tough. That is tough. I'm gonna go. No, let me look. Let me look at the chat. Let me look. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Tata Head as my dark horse. The man who can piss off anybody in this, but if he gets that lead, I think he can get that and walk away with it. So I'm gonna go Tata Head, as I call him, for my dark horse for NXT. But that's all our picks. Camel's picks will be written down over and be sent in the ODRO reports chat tomorrow. But we'll send everybody home happy. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Don't spend too much money on Black Friday or next Monday, Cyber Monday. Have a great
Amen.
weekend with it. We'll have a great week of racing this week, hopefully. Rocky and Gateway, so it should be fun. Short track racing this week. I do want to send a shout out to Insolable for helping us produce this going forward for YouTube, and hopefully it came out good and everybody enjoyed it. And you can see who's talking all at once now on the screen. We'll eventually have clips we can play when we have Twitch clips coming in from people's point of view and can see victories and all that kind of for leads, wrecks that we got to talk about, and all that kind of stuff. So send those into Insoluble when the time's right, usually on a Tuesday or a Monday, so he can get that in order for produce. So shout out Insoluble for that, and for the intro and the outro and helping us produce this. We'll eventually try to get on Twitch, simulcast on Twitch for Hendrick or Camo who needs a simulcast to get some for love over there, Twitch. And so for Hendrick to still do his Bren yelling and Bren what do you call it? What do you call it, Hendrick? Your
Mute Bren, mock
your
Bren,
yeah,
say
your
something rude to Bren.
See, he revolves his channel around me at this point. He's got so many
well,
like freaking things at this point.
but,
He's egging to like have a commentary
Tell
with
me,
me again
yeah.
because
tell me, yeah. But shout out that. Shout out to the server. I believe the server link. We have a server link on the screen in a QR fashion. So if you want to join off that, it's on Xbox League. So make sure you have a new Series S, I do believe it's called, or a Series X. Um, to play the new NASCAR 25 game. We are NASCAR League. We race on Saturday nights for trucks, Sunday nights for NXT, which is Xfinity cars, and then Monday nights for Premier, which is invite only, and that would be in the next gen Cup cars. So the place to be is here. I do 100% believe we're the best league on console racing, for presets at the very least, and I fully believe that we are the place to be for all three series, and being the career destination to start off a league racing career and propel yourself to be the best and get your skills up to go to other leagues and show off your skills there and do the best you can and propel you to be the best league racing driver you can be. With that, I will send it off to Insolable. He can tell me when we're countdown is on. I don't know. It's our first broadcast, so I don't know exactly how to exit this out.
spending
Okay, and
$500 for
appreciate
Black
everybody
Friday.
for listening. We'll send a link out in the promotions tab when we have a full link to the episode to get on rewatch. And yep, it's all about send us home, my friend.